to the BMW E28 project. This car has some really strange modifications done to it, but I'm going to try my best to make it somewhat respectable and unpimp my ride, if you will. This video has everything from ASMR to police intervention, so watch through until the end. Anyways, let's see what we're working with.
Damn right.
I bought this car because it was super cheap and the previous owner didn't realize the Euro headlights on it were worth a bit of money here in Canada. From what I'm told, the previous owner was a very proud drug dealer, so the car was fitted with a money box where the handbrake should have been, a secret evidence disposal hatch, and of course, a knife. The fun doesn't stop here though, nor does the creativity. My personal favorite mod was the shifter being replaced with a flight simulator control stick. The buttons were even wired up to control the fog lights, mirrors, and more. Well, in theory at least, nothing actually worked. There was also an awful steering wheel installed at a 45-degree angle, a custom moonroof which leaked, causing the carpets to be thrown out, lowering springs which caused an awful rattle on the passenger front at speed or on bumps, stickers from all the big world-renowned racing brands, a custom engine bay light to fix all the issues at night, and so much more. Before I get too overwhelmed, I want to say I don't hate all of the modifications. Some are kind of cool and I'll probably end up keeping, like the custom door cards and pulls. The car used to have a navy interior, but all that has been hidden or replaced. The front seats are heated ones from a Honda RSX, and the navy rear seats are covered in a Mercedes seat cover, which is also heated. He even painted the hood and splitter black and removed the bumper.
I'm painting this thing jet black.
The paint was awful and hid all kinds of damage and rust underneath. My detailing friend worked away at it for a while but gave up, so I think I'm going to try painting it silver again. The battery was moved to the rear for better weight distribution, and the computer was upgraded to a Motronic 1.3, which possibly helped, although the car still runs a bit rough. The car also has bigger brakes from an E34, although the rear lines were disconnected to install a dedicated rear hydraulic handbrake, which again was never hooked up. The owner wasn't done yet though, and even had plans to install a Mercedes supercharger. He threw in an intercooler he planned on using along with a heap of parts, such as a lightweight racing seat. Last but not least, it wouldn't be an episode of Pimp My Ride without a sound system. For once, this actually works pretty well. So that's what we're working with. The first thing I wanted to do was just clean up a bit. Originally my plan was to give it a quick clean and flip it, so I'm not doing my best job with these clips. I was going to hold it over the winter and then sell it in the spring when the prices are up, but with the Rona incident, I don't think it's a good time to be letting people come for a test drive. There were some little fixes like attaching the passenger seat, which had just been sitting there without any bolts. I also found some leaks, including a small one from the oil pan and a large one from the power steering. Instead of fixing these leaks, the previous owner carried around a personal apothecary of fluids in the engine bay so we could refill every other block. I chose to give up my Top Gun dreams and remove the flight control stick, which was only held on by a bit of tape. Luckily in the heap of parts was an original shifter, which looks infinitely better in my opinion. Stock parts like the steering wheel and carpet have been hard to find, at least for a reasonable price, so until I find a good deal, I'm trying to make the most of what I have. I put the steering wheel back on straight and removed the giant orange button. Alright, time for the exciting stuff. After much deliberation and Photoshop, I decided to paint the hood and the splitter silver to match the car. The only issue was, with isolation in effect, I couldn't go buy materials and didn't really have everything I needed. At first, I started to sand the black paint off the hood, but it was really gummy and taking forever. My dad had the idea to try taking it off with the razor blade, and for whatever reason it worked brilliantly. Enjoy some BMW hood paint removal ASMR.
Doesn't it look nice when it's got painted?
With the rain coming and most of the paint off, I pulled it into the shop. Some of the spots were a lot rougher than anticipated. In one area, the rust had gone right through the hood, and the previous owner had filled this hole with silicone. The splitter wasn't much better and had 3 cracks held together by zip ties, Bondo, and what looked like a clementine can. I'm by no means a bodywork pro, but I thought I could do a bit better with some body filler and short strand fiberglass. I had so little faith in my own work that I kind of rushed through it, but it turned out better than I expected. Now for the supply problems. I didn't have any primer, so I had to go straight to silver. I had 2 cans, one of which was ancient. I sprayed a bit of each to see which was closer to the color, and to my untrained eye, I thought they both looked half decent. I decided to try the newer one on the hood, as I figured there was less of a chance of some weird paint reaction. I've been told it takes nearly 2 cans to spray a hood, but with only one, I sprayed it on way too light, or dry as the paint nerds say. And it looked awful. I still had some left, so I took the advice on the can and waited 24 hours before spraying a second, wetter coat. In the meantime, I figured it couldn't get any worse, so I sprayed the splitter with the ancient paint, which turned out to be almost chrome and highly reflective. Things weren't looking great, but the next day, with a third of a can left and a dream, I tried spraying the rest of the hood and splitter to the best of my ability. I also decided to paint the scratched up wheels with a brush. Time for the big reveal.
Look at your brand new ride.
While the paint isn't very glossy and definitely needs some clear, which I don't have access to at the moment, I think it looks better. I really didn't want to put the hood pins back on, but without any other options, I reluctantly cleaned them up a bit and reinstalled them. With the car looking better, I wanted to take my grandma out for a quick ride around the farm because she'd really been enjoying watching the painting process and hadn't left the house for a while with isolation. The car was running a bit rough, so I drove it down the lane to warm it up first. There was some traffic blocking my U-turn, so I turned right to do a U-turn a bit further down the road, and sure enough, one of the oncoming cars happened to be a police officer, and I got pulled over and got 4 tickets. So unfortunately, I don't have a happy ending to the first episode of Unpimp my E28, and in true poetic fallacy, it started to pour rain, and I put the car back in its own isolation. At least now it's looking a lot better. If you like this video and want to see more of this car and other projects, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot. Thanks for watching.